Hello, today we're going to be making a chicken primavera. This is a great garden recipe. So if you have a lot of garden vegetables, here's where you can use them. Anyway, so I'm taking a very large skillet and I'm going to spray it with some spray oil. Okay. And we're going to put that on our burner. Now I'm using zucchini and a yellow squash. Now my husband and son do not care for squash, but in this recipe, they don't seem to mind. And some bell pepper. It calls for a yellow bell pepper, but you can use green, red, whatever you have on hand. This is a recipe I got off of 3ABN. And you can go there and find it. It's called Chicken Primavera. Now this is onion. You can use any kind of onion you want. My husband doesn't care for a lot of onions, so I use the red onions. They're a little bit sweeter. And then we're going to use about, it calls for 2 cups of water, and I think that's a little bit much sometimes. Other times it seems like it's just enough. So I'm just going to try to guesstimate. We'll use about 1 3/4. Let's try that. Okay, and then mushrooms. Now, I can't use mushrooms. Mushrooms I don't really care for anyway, so it's no big loss to me. But mushrooms can cause gout. Now these are shiitake mushrooms, and they're very medicinal. They're good for people with low immune systems and whatnot. I'm not sure if they can cause gout or not, but I'm not taking that choice or that chance right now. I need to check into that, and once I do, then I can figure it out. But anyway, so these are already dried. And mushrooms are hard to keep because sometimes they go bad so easily. So I bought these from Azure Standard, and you can find that on the web. It's azurestandard.com. They are a food co-op, and I've been doing Azure Standard for over 10 years now. I just rehydrated them. It called for 4 cups, but I think that's a little much. And so I just reconstituted them in water. Now you can cut them up in pieces. My husband said don't cut them up in pieces. That way he can pull them out because he doesn't like mushrooms at all. The nice thing about mushrooms, it's like an MSG, only it's not MSG, it's natural. And it will enhance the flavor of your food. So, there's that too. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and put these in. My son loves these. I don't see why, but that's what he likes. Anyways, so then we're going to go with 2 teaspoons of sugar. Sprinkle that over. And a teaspoon of onion powder. Oh, and it's sticky. Been boiling water in here and it's kind of humid, I guess. Okay. And garlic powder, we're using a 1/2 teaspoon. I use the granulated garlic powder and onion powder so they don't stick so much. It's the same ratio. If you want to use powder, that's fine, or the granulated. It does not matter. Same ratio when you measure it out. And then it calls for 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes and 2 tablespoons of MacKay's chicken. And 2 tablespoons of Bragg's Aminos. Now, for Bragg's Aminos and MacKay's chicken, you can find that on this website. It'll show you. We're using, and let me see, I've got, clove of garlic minced. Not very well. And then I've got a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano. And a teaspoon of parsley. And we're just going to let that cook no more than about a good simmer. no more than about 15 minutes, because you don't want these to be mushy vegetables. You want them to be crisp, tender, like a Chinese food or Japanese food would be, or Thai food, any of your Asian foods. Kind of a crisp, tender. They're not quite raw, but they're not quite done, and that's what you want. Actually, it's better for us to eat our vegetables that way. All right, and then we need to add a large can of tomatoes. These are already cut up, juice and all. And then an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. Okay. Now, when you serve this, you serve it over the chicken and pasta, and you can use your Parmesan with it. It's delicious. And we have another vegetable to add yet. We're going to be adding spinach soon, so we'll do that very soon, very shortly. Let's get this cooking. We've been cooking our vegetables now for just about 10 minutes. And I'm going to test these, and they're just a crisp tender, which is what we want. They're not too mushy or anything. Now here's the spinach, and that's a bag of spinach. It says 9 ounces. I think this is 10. It'll be fine. It's already washed. All we have to do is put it in. It looks like it's not going to fit, but it does eventually. And we take our lid and put back on there. Now, as this steams down and cooks down, then we can mix it up. Okay. So our spinach has cooked down, and I did stir it in just a bit. So you can see that how it's cooked down. And we're going to put this on our plate. And first we're going to put on some macaroni. And then we've got our chicken here. This is the Butler's soy curls chicken. You can find how to make that on a video that we have for making soy chicken. And then use this spoon. We're just going to dip this on like this. Doesn't that look beautiful? All the colors. And then we're going to put this like that. Add some Parmesan to this. And there's a hearty meal for you. Now, when I did do, and I didn't mention this, so I will mention it now. When I did the squash and the zucchini, the yellow squash and the zucchini, I did peel them and then cut them into strips. So that's how I did that. Anyway, so enjoy your meal. Thank you for watching, and remember, keep it practical. Thank you.